You ever wonder if there's a real, repeatable system for getting those huge goals you've set for yourself? Well, today, we're going to break down a pretty fascinating formula. It suggests that truly extraordinary results happen when you combine two massive forces, your own inner world and your outer tools. So let's dive in and see how it all fits together. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover the superpowers that you actually already have inside you. Then, we'll look at the mind's operating system where they all run. After that, we'll see how modern technology fits into this as a powerful tool. And finally, we'll put it all together to understand this secret sauce of doing things in a certain way that gets incredible results.
Okay, so let's get right into part one, your inner superpowers. The whole idea here is that every single one of us, no exceptions, is born with this incredible set of internal tools. You might have heard them called your higher mental faculties. And here they are, the 6 mental tools you have at your disposal. Think of these as your mind's built-in software package. You've got reason for thinking things through, will for staying focused, memory for recalling information, and perception for changing your point of view. But then you have the really creative ones. Intuition, which is kind of like your gut feeling or that connection to a bigger intelligence. And of course, imagination, the starting point for literally everything. Getting a handle on these is the absolute foundation of this whole formula. Let's just zoom in on imagination for a second. In this framework, your imagination is like the workshop of your mind. It's the place where you build the vision of what you want before you can see it in the real world. It has nothing to do with what you can see or hear or touch right now. And the source material doesn't mess around with this idea. It says it straight up. What you build in your imagination is the actual blueprint for your reality. So this isn't about just daydreaming. It's framed as the first, most vital step to creating anything new. But look, an idea by itself isn't quite enough, right? And that is where your will comes into play. Think of your will as the mental muscle that takes that image you just built with your imagination and holds it steady. It's your focus muscle. It lets you pour all your energy into that one idea and just shut out all the noise and distractions. Okay, so we've got these incredible mental tools, but what's the operating system they run on? Well, that brings us to the mind itself. So this model breaks the mind down into 2 simple but really powerful parts. On one hand, you've got your conscious mind. That's your thinking mind, the logical part. It's where you use reason to say yes or no to ideas. And then you've got the subconscious mind. This is your feeling, emotional mind. It doesn't argue, it doesn't reason, it just accepts whatever the conscious mind gives it and then controls your emotional state, which in this way of thinking is called your vibration, basically the energy you're putting out into the world. And here is the absolute key to the whole thing. The goal is to get these 2 parts of your mind working together in perfect harmony. When the idea you choose with your conscious mind gets fully accepted and, really felt by your subconscious mind, that's when they're in sync. And that alignment, that's what creates that powerful, positive energy, that vibration that drives you to take action. So what happens when they're not aligned? Well, the sources call it chaos, and you've probably felt this. It's when you consciously think, I'm going to be successful, but deep down in your subconscious, you feel nothing but doubt and fear. That conflict creates a chaotic energy, and it often leads to that feeling of a downward spiral, where it just seems like one bad thing keeps happening after another. And that idea of fixing the internal chaos leads to this core principle: order is nature's first law. The whole point of this mental model is to bring that law into your own inner world. When you consciously choose your thoughts and get your feelings to match them, you move from chaos to order. Okay, so getting that internal house in order is the first huge part of the equation. But how do you take that inner alignment and actually make something happen in the real world? Well, that's where we shift gears to the second part of the formula, the external world of technology. This is so important. Mindset, everything we've just talked about, is an incredibly powerful tool. But according to this formula, it's only half the story. Technology is the other half. It's the equally important tool that you need to take that inner vision and build it in the physical world, especially if you want to do it on a large scale. And when we say external toolkit, we're talking about the real nuts and bolts of modern business. Things like CRMs for managing customer relationships, email and text marketing automation, websites and sales funnels, platforms to host online courses, social media tools, and even AI chatbots. These are the levers you get to pull in the outside world. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to meditate on your vision, and it's a completely different thing to go build a website. How do these 2 seemingly separate worlds actually connect? And answering that question brings us right to the heart of this entire philosophy. This is the intersection. This is where mindset meets tech.
and it's where the real magic of this formula starts to happen. And here it is. This is the central idea of the whole system. It's not about choosing mindset or technology. It's the combination, the synthesis of a locked-in internal state with powerful external tools that let you create extraordinary, almost miraculous results.
I love this analogy. Think about it this way. Your aligned mindset, that vision you created in your imagination and held with your will, that's the architect's blueprint for what you want to build. But you know what? A blueprint on its own has never built a skyscraper. The technology, the CRMs, the websites, the automations, that's the heavy machinery, the construction crew that actually brings the blueprint to life.
Which leads us to our final piece of the puzzle. It's not just about having the tools, whether they're internal or external. It's about how you use them together. This quote is a real game changer because it completely reframes how we think about action. So many people are busy doing certain things. They're sending emails, making calls, posting on social media. But this system argues that real success comes from doing things in a certain way.
So what is that certain way? Well, it's the entire formula we've just walked through. It is the conscious, deliberate alignment of your inner world, your faculties, your beliefs, with the practical, hands-on application of external technology. It's operating from a place of total inner clarity while you execute with precision on the outside.
So I'll leave you with this thought. It's a pretty powerful question to sit with for a minute. If you truly mastered both your inner game, your focus, your belief, and your outer game, the tools and tech we have today, and you had them working in perfect, seamless harmony, what would be possible? What would you build?